so that he can stop cheating.
Yes.
And that was, and be with the daughter and the husband.
Yeah. Robert De Niro was the character, the intern, this older gentleman who's the intern that was part of in her ear to say, wait a minute, you built this wonderful business. You leaving the business is not going to keep him from cheating.
Right.
But in her mind, because society and the people around her weren't supporting that at this right, it really highlighted the point. The first question that we started with was, can women have it all, right? Women's lib, late 60s, early 70s, was about equal rights. It was about being able to choose whether I was going to have children. You know, I come from a great grandmother who was one of 17. Because back then it was not legal to take birth control, nor could you legally abort children, nor could you as a woman initiate a divorce. Nor could you even have a divorce that was no fault. Nor did you have equal pay, right?
We still don't have that.
Amen.
Women's suffrage was about the right to vote.
Yes.
Didn't have that. Right to educate, right to work, you know, all of these precious. It did not become legal to have an abortion until 1975.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Right. Maternity leave wasn't a part. Domestic violence, right? He was able to do whatever it is he needed to do, and whose fault was it?
Ours.
It was ours, right?
We pissed him off somehow.
Yes, it was all on us. And so when we look at where we are as a society, when we look at where we are as a gender, we had all of that, and Women's Lib said, we can have it all, because now we are liberated. The feminist group said, you can do that, you can work, you can have babies, because you can control that, all right? You can go on vacation, you can file for divorce, you can do this as a single. But can we individually, without guilt, have it all and all at the same time? So I'm back to where we started. And I want to know.
Say yes.
Some aspect of the life is going to. I mean, you can be a jack of all trades, but you know, you're not the master of none. You know, so I mean, you can be pulled so many different directions, but you know, something is gonna not really suffer, but it's gonna take a back end.
So the point. So how do you get right to reconcile that I'm okay with the C? Right? Because something, when you say suffer, something is not going to be that higher level of excellence, right? Where do you get to be that? How do you reconcile that?
Once you become honest with yourself and know who you are, and just know like, hey, I can't do this. I'm not Superwoman. I'm not going to be perfect at everything, but I'm okay with who I am. So you got to be honest with yourself. So that's when you can accept the C. I'm just not good at this, and it's okay. Right?
Or maybe it's not that you're not good at it, but this is where you're at. That's it. It doesn't have to be like, that's what I said. Everything is subjected to self. Like what I think I'm good at, you may be better at, but that's you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's your experiences also, because your experiences make you who you are.
Right.
So I think that's a big choice too. But I think that makes very much sense. And accepting a C could be my A, just like you said, the glorified C.
Yes.
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah.
Worked hard for that
C. Yes. You worked hard for that. I worked hard for that C.
Yeah,
you brought it up from
an
F, which is the best.
Brought it up from an F. Isn't it all about, right?
It's
personal development.
Yes.
You didn't want
And growth. Yeah, because you grew.
Right. And then somebody curved that grade. Somebody curved it, right? Because even the one who normally got A's, she couldn't even get the A. So that's a great analogy for this. It's that not everybody, that's why it's an individual thing, because we all carry something different. We all have a different makeup, right? When you look at the score sheet, and some of us have parental responsibilities, but not everybody is going to have the dementia or is going to need some health care or medical care or constant care, right? The most you may get from your parent is, okay, can you bring that baked macaroni and cheese because I need it for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Now, it becomes an issue where you say, I don't even feel like doing that. And can I say no? Right? And I don't know.
Which I gave myself a low grade on that daughter.
You give
First I
yourself-
gave myself a B, then I went back and gave myself a D. I crossed the B out.
as a daughter. Yeah.
I deal with a lot of guilt. Trying to get like Sasha over here.
Well, you know what? It's
Yeah,
been a
boy.
work in progress, and I just have to be
Yeah,
okay
sure.
with, you know, I hear this all day. My friends are married, I'm divorced, and I say, hey, I don't need to do that again. Really, I don't even want to be bothered with nobody every day. I have to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
I want somebody in my, and I, you know, I was out with a friend last time. What do you want? These are the things that I want. I want somebody that I care for, that care for me, I can depend on, but I don't want to see you every day.
Yeah.
And that's just knowing who
Or
I
in my
am.
space anyway.
I don't want that. I want you to have your life. I want to be able to have my life when we come together. But I don't want to see nobody every day.
Right.
And my friends, you know, people judge me about that. You know, like
So you're
and
currently divorced?
I'm currently divorced, and I'm raising my daughter. You do not have to be married with kids to be successful. Your mom
No.
works hard, and I'm not a single parent. You have your father in your life. We co-parent you. And I don't want her to. So many girls grow up thinking I have to be this image to
Yeah.
be. You do not.
Yeah.
You choose what makes you happy, and if husband and kids make you happy, you have
Yes.
that. Mama don't need that no more.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a work in process, because you worry about what people think of you, and you try to live in their image. I don't want to do that. I am who I am.
But that's
And
a
I'm
lot
okay
of
with
pressure,
that.
right? And
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
that's the thing. I believe in the women's lib. I love that it came into play for us. But I think there was the pressure of, right, okay, now I can be all things. Now I'm about to go and be all things. And I think some of it could be generational, coming from our parents or grandparents who could not have it all.
Yes.
Now they're saying, look, girl, you could
You
have it all.
all.
Go out there and get it, right?
Right.
Don't
Yes.
lose. It's like when the slaves became free. What happened? Our 40 acres and a mule. It wasn't that advantageous opportunity for us, because we couldn't go out and do what we really needed to do. So there was a double-edged sword. It's the same thing with the women's lib, or the feminist movement. I think that we have to be careful, and it has to be individual. And I also think something that Sasha
Definitely
mentioned,
individual.
she's now divorced, right? So does it make a difference when your circumstance changes?
Yes.
It's an
Absolutely.
experience. You experience
Yes.
it.
Oh yeah. We grow and change. We evolve as women
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I think that what's important is that women need to learn how to support one another where they are.
Period.
Don't
Yeah.
impose on Candy what I think she should be doing, because
That's
it's based
correct.
on what I do, or or vice versa. So our friendship is based on mutual respect for where each other is. She doesn't try to convince me that I need to do something different. I'm trying to convince her that she needs to do something different. And I think women are we are really hard
Oh
on
yeah,
one
we do
another.
that all the time.
We are
Yes.
so
All
hard
the
on one
time.
another.
Yeah.
Judgmental.
Yeah, and and that's where the guilt comes in, because when we say society, yes, society has certain rules for women, things that we are supposed to do, and especially older women make you feel like and it really does depend on how you're raised, because I have some friends whose parents really want them to get married. Like they feel that they are somehow a failure because they hadn't gotten married or haven't had children, because their parents and family make them think that's what being a woman is about.
Yep.
My mother was like, it was none of that. Was like, you can do it all. You can have get your degree, have your career. You can be independent. Don't rely on anybody. It was totally the opposite. And it's funny because I turned out to be more like the old fashioned. But I want a family. I want to get married. I want to have babies. It's funny, but she was totally like a complete feminist. So it depends on how you're raised, and then who's around you and who supports you, and then sometimes I think that you have to find people who you have to find yourself. You have to find people who will celebrate you
For
and
who
where
you are.
for who you are,
And where you are in
and
life,
where you are,
right?
right?
As
And the
opposed to feel
decisions
like-
that you make.
Yeah.
Because they could celebrate you, but then once you make a decision that doesn't go with the norm, are they still celebrating? So I think that they accepting you for all the decisions that you make, whether it's something that they agree with or not.
Right.
And I think that it's really when you're in those positions of titles, then all of a sudden was the wife, am the wife, and all my friends around me are the wife. when I choose for my own reason not to be the wife any longer, what is the reaction? Am I supported?
Right.
Are you celebrating? Are you throwing me the divorce party? Or are you saying, girl, what is wrong with you?
You need to.
Why
You need to
ain't got
just
no
do
husband? You
this,
so
do that.
pretty.
What's
Why
wrong?
you ain't got no husband?
Right.
Because I don't want one. I done that. I'm okay. You know, but
Or the
you
guy,
get that.
or the guy
You
who
get-
says,
you get the
"Why are you
pressure.
single?
Yeah,
What's
why
wrong?"
you- yeah.
Or children,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I
it's
get
like,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
we get that,
Yes.
right?
What?
Children.
What's wrong with you?
What is
Right.
wrong with that?
Yeah.
Right. And not,
Good.
as opposed to celebrating that regardless of what it is. I remember being, when I became a mom, this was 16 years ago, my son's 16. And how many of you guys, the moms in here, Mocha Moms, and not to call it anybody, any of the mom groups, not Mocha Moms specifically, but the mommy groups that everybody says you should be a part of. And then the pressure to be in the mommy group because you had to what is your child doing? So,
Right.
they're
Yes.
crawling, they're walking,
Right.
they know their ABCs.
Right.
All of this pressure,
Yes.
and you're trying to keep up, right? And in
Like,
the
why
beginning,
don't you
when
say your
you're-
ABCs? Dad, I'm sorry. Why am I saying this to my 2-year-old?
No, 4 months. You should know your
Right,
ABCs.
you're still in diapers.
Yeah.
You're still, it was going to the group. I'm not a group person. I'm not an organization person. The mentality gets me. But going to that and all the pressure that comes from you competing with everybody because they're showing up, you're a child.
Right.
But I let go of the potty training. I'm like, because my thinking is, clearly the child is not going to be 5, going to kindergarten soon. So
Whenever it happens, it happens.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I had to let that go. I can't compete. I'm not going to be on this rat race trying to get you out of diapers. It was too much pressure.
I was such an overachiever like you. And, oh my God, my poor babies.
That's what I mean. You end up putting this all, or you need to
read,
be in
3, read,
Yes.
write. You go up to this school. You testing here. I mean, yeah, I was.
Oh, the testing, or the schools,
yes.
or the yes. It becomes this big ball of wanting to, and you're not even doing it for the child because they can care less.
No, you're right. You're right. And they have no idea. But it's you saying, can you read? Can you write? Come on, write. Take this pencil. It barely can hold a bottle. But you're like, take the pencil.
Here's the flashcards.
Yes.
No, it's all those books and tapes.
Oh, I've done
My
it all.
baby is 6 months and they
And
can
poor baby
sign.
Einstein. They were born a baby Einstein. And I don't even have any kids. I was like, really?
I should have asked them, let me see your kid do that. But I didn't think about that.
I did like the sign language for the children.
But
I didn't do that with mine, but I think that's an enhancement.
But I
Sign
think you
language for
can,
the
you're
children.
able to sit back and observe and say that's maybe beneficial for not maybe mine, but for others.
Yeah.
I think that's a healthy place. I think the problem becomes when we're trying to be that
You're
person.
trying to give me
Because
the whole
it's really about you. You think it's about being a good mother, but being a good mother, a lot has to do with it being about you. Mm-hmm. Am I a good mother? Are my children developmentally correct? Are they excelling? Do they get straight A's? Are they good at this sport? Are they good at that? You know, it's really more about you. And it took me a long time
But I was
to realize
gonna say
that.
Kids, it's now about what? After the fact.
Yeah.
You don't have, so what happens, what can we say to those mothers who are new to the game or don't have children? How do you not put all of that
Don't
pressure,
put that pressure on yourself.
on yourself?
You know what? If I could do it all over again, because this is what I wished, because I had a homework assignment this weekend, and it was about realizing your core beliefs and where those came from, right? Mm-hmm. Core beliefs that have impacted you, because I'm doing a weight loss thing. Core beliefs that have impacted you in your life in terms of the habits that you have, whether it be, for fitness or how you eat or whatever. So what I realized in doing the homework, because a lot of self-reflection, is that there are things that your mother or father can do to make you much more self-sufficient or feel better about yourself, or not do, that make you feel like you're not enough. You're not enough. You're not worthy of this unless you're doing all these things. Well, my mother, I was raised as an overachiever. If I came home with all A's and a B, she was like, it should have been all A's. You didn't do well enough. It was not. It was never good enough. So that's like how I lived my life. And I realized I turned around and did that same thing to my children.
Generational.
Not to the same degree, because I was much more affectionate and you're beautiful and